right, cool, Jamal. So thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, man. You know, I feel like I finally made it in life.
Relax.
On my mic and I, man.
Appreciate that.
This is dope.
You gotta remain humble. But thank you for that.
We're just two humble gentlemen, man. No,
yes, sir.
No, this is real dope. You know, I'm usually here recording for my podcast,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and helping you out with yours. But, you know, it's dope that we can finally, you know, get this together, man.
Yes, sir. The Mike and I Studios over here.
Mike and I Studios, man.
AKA my parents' garage.
A lot of history has been made in this garage.
Yes, a lot of history, even outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that too much. But
am I sitting on the chair? I don't.
Nah.
I'm kidding.
Nah. Over enough. Nah. So the first question I wanted to ask you, because I've known you and I've come to know this version of Jamal these past 2 years, you could say.
Yeah.
I didn't really know you before 2019. How did you get to this point, though? At what point did you really get into the wrestling, really get into the podcasting, the radio, everything that you do now? When did that all kind of start?
Man, let's see. All of this started for me when I stopped playing football. So around like 2014, 2015, you know, I played football at Fullerton College. Basically, you know, the short story, I came back way too early from a knee injury. You know, trying to, you know, just come back, you know, get my playing time in, you know, just being stupid. And basically on a play, you know, my knee gave out, wasn't really fully healthy and ready to be back, so my knee gave out during the play, and I got cleaned up. I got cleaned up by a running back of all people.
Yeah.
But dude could lay hat, man. You know, shout out to my man. But no, I got cleaned up, and you know, I thought I was chilling. You know, when the adrenaline's pumping, you know, you get a big hit, and it's like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I got hit. Let's bounce back. But after that, like the next play, it just seemed like everything was going in slow motion.
Mm.
And, you know, I ended up just getting a really bad concussion.
Oof.
So like, I had like two choices. It was like, all right, like you have to sit this out, but you might have to consider like getting neck surgery or whatever.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like it was kind of like that bad. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Like I can comfortably walk away from football. At the time,
yeah,
it wasn't comfortable for sure because I mean I played football my whole life. I played sports my whole life, and you know, to hear like, oh, this is it, it hurt. It hurt a lot, and it took a while to get over, right? But at that point, you know, I think I've said this before too. Like, it was a blessing because at that point now I had to be an adult.
Yeah.
Like, I had just turned 21, so now it was time to get a job and, you know, help my grandparents out with rent and, you know, get a car.
Yeah.
And, you know, all these things, you know, just adult life. And it definitely, life definitely turned around for me. You know, it definitely had its ups and downs, a lot of downs.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, it kind of just took, like, it was like maybe like a 4-month period where I'm just in school and I was like, dang, I don't really want to drop out. But,
mm-hmm.
like, I don't know what I'm going to school for now at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, my major was journalism, but my major was really football.
Yeah,
you know, like, I was going to school.
Of course.
To play football. I was going to class because I needed to be eligible to play football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, honor student, of course, you know, like, I always had good grades, but nah, like, football was going to get me where I needed to go. And, you know, I walked on, you know, in San Diego State. I was blessed to be able to go there in high school. I didn't stay there long because my teammates got in trouble, and I was just like, you know, maybe I should go back home.
Yeah. So,
you know, and it was cool, you know, being at Fullerton. I got to play with my cousin. You know, I made so many long-lasting relationships and friendships. You know, like, that JUCO bond with teammates, man, like,
it's different.
Bro.
Yeah.
Like, dudes I still talk to till this day, you know. And it was just such and, you know, we were winning. Like, coming out of Boynton Park High School, you know, like, the seasons were cool, but, like, it was just fun to just win and just go out and just have fun playing football.
Yeah.
being able to live the life of a college student,
Yeah.
partying constantly and all that shit. But basically, just I had to figure out what else I was good at.
Yeah.
And, growing up, my mom was a great writer, accomplished. She worked in the music business, great publicist. And, I was like, well, I mean, writing, I guess, is second nature to me. Talking to people, getting the news out. So I guess, it's time to get into journalism.
Yeah.
So I took a class with my guy, Corey Neeland.
Yeah, shout out to Corey.
Sports broadcasting, when I was injured, during games, I would be up in the booth, helping coaches and, like, giving them, like, the play sheets and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was in and out of the broadcast booth all the time. So I'd see Corey just at work.
Yeah.
And just really liked what he was doing. And, I'd pick his brain at times, like I would talk to him, just casual, just sports stuff. And, we just became kind of cool.
Yeah.
And from there, I ended up going to Cypress College and joining the communications and journalism program there with, Mr. Ron Mercer, God rest his soul. He ended up being actually the same advisor when my mom was there.
Okay.
So he taught me and my mom journalism.
Sheesh.
At Cypress College.
That's dope.
And like
2 generations.
And yeah, and I got to accredit everything I've done in journalism to him, in all honesty, because he was on my ass about everything. The late thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If there was any one person who hated me showing up late, it was him.
Yeah.
Because he'd call my ass out. Bro, like, we'd be in the middle of, like, editor meetings, and, I was an editor, so I'd walk in, and he'd stop. If someone was talking, like, hold on a second. He'd call me a diva. The diva just walked in.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, my God. He's like, so what did you do today on your leisurely walk late to... Bro, like, he'd just get on my ass about it. But he was like, you're lucky I like you, and you're lucky your work ethic is better than your punctuality.
Yeah,
so it was like,
that saves you sometimes.
Bro, and I say it all the time now, where I was like, yeah, I might be late, but at least like I make up for it with my work. Right?
Yeah.
And you can't really knock that, because it would be one thing if I was late and like slacking off.
Yeah.
But
like, nah, this guy's late and he's killing it.
Yeah, it's like Mercer really just kind of just really was that driving force in me just doing what I do today.
Nice. And
just giving me all the gems and tools, man. Like, he would show me, like, everything my mom did. Because she was kind of one of the first people to cover hip-hop in like, that college. Like
a school paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, she did, like, a story on the miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Ooh, okay.
And that made, like, the front cover of the newspaper.
96, right?
97, 98.
Okay.
Yeah. And, like, she would, like, have pictures, like, Outkast. Like, and this is, like, smaller shows. So this is before, like, the Observatory was a thing. So,
yeah.
In L.A., like, driving out to L.A., just getting all these dope rap artists at these, like, small intimate venues, like the Viper Room.
Yeah.
Like that. Because this is while she was interning at Interscope and at Capitol Records. So she had access to these things. So he would show me, like, all of her old articles and stories, and he was like, every time I hear you speak or hear you or like read what you write, it reminds me of her. He's like, I'm not saying you are her. He's like, you two are totally different people. Like, she was always on time.
Yeah.
But like, he was like, I see. He's like, it sounds cliche, because she's your mom, but I see a lot of her. Like, you're gonna get far in this. He's like, you just got to get your head out of your ass at times. I was still the egotistical ex-football player.
Yeah.
I was battling my own demons at the time. So, there was just a lot of shit going on. I was trying to smash every girl in the newsroom. I was just that guy.
Yeah.
I was just that guy in the beginning. Like, I was just an asshole. Like I look back at, like, pictures back then. I was like, dude, I was the worst. Like, how did people just deal with me or want to work with me or want to listen to anything I said back then? Because I was the absolute worst, man. But I think it made me better for just kind of just going through those, because you got to go through those experiences.
Yeah.
And my experience at the Cypress Chronicle literally is the reason why I do what I do. Why I'm still doing what I do. Because it put me in a group setting. It opened my eyes to a lot of things. You know, I didn't know a lot of gay people then, but then I became damn near best friends with a lot, you know, and understood and got educated on that whole thing, what they went through. And you know, it just opened my eyes to a lot of things. And while playing football, I was for sure scared to be myself. Because, you know, I was always like a nerd and, you know, was into wrestling and was into hip hop and, you know, anime and shit like that. But I couldn't talk to my teammates about that because they were dudes from Florida and, you know, New York,
Georgia.
You know, from the hood. I'm only here for football. Like, we ain't doing that shit. So when I got there, like, I was able to, like, embrace, like, what made me me. This is dope. I get to talk about wrestling and not get judged about it. You know, like I had other people who watched wrestling around me. Like, it was cool, man. And you know, another person I could, you know, really attest, like, that helped me was my boy Eric, man, who has the show, That Geek Show, on True 100 Radio. You know, he's just my guy. You know, like, he was older. I've always hung around older people because you know. You hang around people older than you that have kind of experienced, like, things you're experiencing now, they can put you on game.
You get wiser, bro.
You know?
100%.
And
that's why I like hanging out with Corey and Mark, you know?
Exactly, you know?
They just dropping gems.
Just dropping gems, putting you on game. That's why I just love talking to my grandpa.
You
know, just growing up, I just always hung around older kids. And so, Eric, you know, he's an older cat, so he just always put me on to, and understanding his story. Because, you know, older, white dude, you think, he's had it made. But like, his story was crazy, man. Like, he grew up in Lakewood. Like, you know, he didn't have the best. You know, he still had things, but, you know, and like, he just gave me his perspective on his life when I was fucking 9, 10 years old. What he was doing, you know, and it was crazy, you know. And like, we met each other at a time where we were both like at our lowest lows. He was going through a divorce. You know, I was going through my problems and shit at home, and, you know, with myself. So we were able to kind of just be there for each other through journalism and come through with like our ideas and, you know, and like just kind of just like everything we want to see like succeed within ourselves. And with that, we started doing the radio shows through the broadcasting team, and he would do like a live podcast. And I would do a live podcast. Mind you, I didn't know shit about live broadcasting at this point. So I was winging it, bro. Like, I would just set up the mics, set up the camera, and would just press record and just be like, this is how you do it, right? And Marshall was like, no. And like, I remember after every show, every week, he'd just be like, so I was there 3 years, well, 2.5 years. And you know, the first year was rough because, you know, I'm just getting into it and just learning everything. But once again, ego, asshole. So I just assumed I knew everything. And was like, oh, this is easy. But, you know, Mercer had to sit me down, and Eric was like, no, like, this is how you do it. And I would take extra classes and really learn because I'm like, you know, I really want to do this. I like this, but like, I can't have my mentality going into this. So I really took the time to learn broadcasting and, you know, learn the ins and outs of journalism. And, you know, it took, I mean, I was still learning, you know, obviously, but, you know, I always say you can't, if you go a day without learning anything, you didn't seize your day.
That's a good point.
You know, so I sat back and learned the craft, man, and it really helped me appreciate radio and really showed me how lazy of a fucking writer I was. I just ended up hating writing. Like, when I would have to do, like, because I interned for allhiphop.com, shout out to Chuck, and, you know, we'd have to do write-ups all the time. And I hated it, especially because, like, our deadline was like midnight, and I wasn't leaving the newsroom till like 10 o'clock. So, like, I had to come home and just get straight on the laptop and start writing. I was like, dude, I hate this shit. I was like,
more tedious, for sure.
Yeah, you know, I was like, if there's a way I can do this and just not have to write it, how can I do it? I was like, oh,
Voice.
My voice.
Yeah.
Oh, we have broadcasting equipment. Let me learn what I need to do here so I can do it at my house.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was just learning more about the equipment we were using, more about broadcasting and just watching Big Boy do it.
Yeah.
Because my mom, she's real good friends with Fuzzy and Big Boy. So, we always listen to Big Boy's name. Ryan Seacrest. All these I just loved radio. I just listened to radio.
Yeah.
Ebro, Rosenberg, like all these, just all these dope personalities, Sway, and I just learned in just the ins and outs of radio.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up in me buying my first mic. And so I bought this, it was like $100 Sennheiser mic.
Okay.
And like the mixer I have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that mixer, it was probably like $50 off Amazon.
Damn, okay.
I've had that for 6 years, bro. The fact that it's still running,
there you go, man.
It's fucking crazy.
And that's one thing too. If you treat anything with care,
I treat that thing. Yeah. I treat that thing like my baby, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing doesn't touch the floor.
Yeah.
I drop my phone, my computer, my Xbox even. That thing does not touch the floor.
There you go. That's how shit lasts, kids.
You right? Take care of your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first piece of like podcasting equipment I bought. And I had this, the XLR cable that I bought. I didn't even buy it. My grandma had this Android tablet that she wasn't using. And I downloaded this voice recording app.
Okay.
That would hook up to the mixer.
Mm-hmm.
And just would record myself. Just like every night. Just random shit. Like I would just be watching myself watching TV.
Oh, okay. Like you're giving commentary?
Yeah.
Just sports or just anything?
Anything. Like
yeah.
I would there's a couple and I just found this flash drive like a couple weeks ago. I was watching Friends.
Oh, okay.
It was like a Friends marathon.
Yeah.
And I was doing a podcast of me watching Friends for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is also while I was like under the influence of banned substances. So it was just all over the place.
Yeah.
And like I would just randomly just do it. Like just randomly just record myself just doing random shit. And then it kind of dawned on me, like, especially like in the summer, because we weren't allowed to be in the newsroom during the summer. Like we were, but like we weren't doing as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, dang, during the summer I should start a podcast.
Mm.
And then this is around the time, I knew like a lot of my friends were like rapping. So Travis, Unspoken Views, and that was kind of like the base of like who I knew was rapping. I knew Mosaic because he went to Buena Park and like all that stuff, but like I didn't know him enough like at that time to kind of just be like, oh, like hey, like you want to do like a podcast?
Yeah.
Like you want to do like an interview? So like I would just play their music, and like at that time I was playing like random underground music too. So I was playing like Flatbush Zombies.
Oh, okay.
And like Joey Badass before he blew up. Like things like that, like random like pro era artists. And like kind of just like underground shit. So I wanted to be the like underground hip hop guy.
Yeah.
Recording in my bedroom. Like, just real like grimy shit, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how the Sunday night wrap up started. And it was gaining zero traction. Mind you, I knew nothing of social media, nothing about marketing. It was just, if I play this artist's music and tag them on Twitter, they'll see it, right?
Yeah.
No. No. Dang. I don't even know. I think Travis was doing a show at, I want to say Chain Reaction. And then I met a couple more artists then. And then I kind of just took a break from it. Like, doing that. Like, I was still doing, like, radio and podcasting at Cal State Long Beach and shit. And editor-in-chief and, things like that. But, I took a break from it to start the wrestling stuff, GCF. And that took a life of its own. Shout to the team there. Joey, Gio, Brandon, all them. Eric, who helps with that, too. And so I focused on that for like the first 2 years. and really didn't come back into doing my own radio thing until I graduated from Long Beach, and was like, dang, do I want to get my master's, or do I want to intern and do like the intern thing again?
Yeah.
I was like, nah. Like, the intern process is just fucking ridiculous, and there's so many people. You know, you gotta be in line.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was like, if I can just build my own thing, I'll be straight. Like, I can do it. I have the tools. I have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't do it alone. So, fuck. How did it? Oh, so I worked security at a bar,
Mm-hmm.
Old Crow Smokehouse, and my boss Todd. It was random how it happened, but I showed up to work late as usual. And I remember he pulled me aside, so I'm thinking, oh, he's probably going to talk about me being late. So I'm, whatever. He was like, bro, how come you didn't tell me you did podcasts?
Oh, okay.
I was like, how did you know I did podcasts? And he was like, you posted on your story one time.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, yeah, I did. Like, it's just like, it's like a random podcast, to be honest. He goes, bro. He's like, and don't you go to college? And I was like, yeah, like I just graduated with my bachelor's, in radio and broadcasting and communication. Like, bro, like, what are you trying to do with it? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, bro, like you should do something with like start your own podcasting network or a radio station. I was like, I wouldn't even know how to begin. He goes, well, he's like, I know a guy. I was like, okay. He was like, have you ever heard of Accelerated Radio? I was like, yeah, actually, I have. Like, aren't they based in like LA? He's like, yeah. And he's like, I know the guy who's like an investor in it.
Oh shit. Okay.
I was like, okay. He's like, wait, who? He goes, he's a regular here. I was like, oh man. And where the bar we were at, Old Crow Smokehouse, it's in Huntington Beach, Pacific City, so we get a lot of old, rich white dudes. The dude, basically,
it's the demographic out there.
Yeah, it was like basically what you saw last summer when people were
anti-mask.
Anti-mask.
Anti-mask, bro.
Man, listen, we've come along. No, we haven't come along.
Some of us, but
some of us have. But evolution didn't hit everybody.
Right. Only the strongest survive.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't have kids.
Yeah. Shit. So he was like, oh, it's one of the regulars. I was like, who? He's like, you know Max. You talk to him. I was like, oh, Max is cool. Max, it's cool, older, white dude, had a mansion in Huntington Beach. Like, literally, like, those houses that are, like, kind of, like, blocked off, like, on Golden West.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those houses.
Okay.
And, like, I remember that night, he walks up, I was like, bro, why do you keep coming in here? Like, I'm going to check your ID or pat you down, bro. Just walk in. And then Todd stops him. He's like, hey, this is the Jamal that I was telling you about. He's like, this guy? He's like, this guy? Because, like, he didn't know. He always just never remembered my name. Yeah. And, I always took care of him. Like, if he needed a beer or whatever, like, I would make sure, he got his beer. Took care of him. If he needed one of, like a young chick, whatever, like, I was like, hey, that dude's got money over there. He's looking at you. Just talk to him. I was like, you ain't got to do nothing with him. Yeah. I was like, and if he is too weird, just let me know and I'll
take care of him.
So, like, he just knew me as that. So I hear you're really smart. And I was like, oh, this is a real good start. this is cool. And I was like, yeah, I got my education. I'm one of the good ones. Just playful, banter.
Yeah.
He goes, well, I got this radio thing that I have no idea what to do with, so if you want it, go ahead. Like, what do you mean, go ahead? Like, what is that? He's like, and he was like, yeah, I own a building, and we have an office space in La Habra, and, if you guys want to, run your little podcast or whatever out of there, go ahead. And Todd and them, they're running their business out of there. I went to go check it out. And we kind of just started the plans, and that's kind of how True 100 Radio started. Todd was kind of just like, I don't know anything about this, so this is all you. And I was like, okay, well, let me see what I can do with it. And that was around the time I met YBG.
Shout out to George.
Shout out to George, man. But that was just on some rap shit. Like, he was a rapper.
Yeah.
He had a song out at the time. Well, he is a rapper.
Yeah.
He had a song out at the time.
But I don't want to just limit him to a rapper because I feel like he has a lot of other good ideas.
He really does.
Yeah.
He really is the driving force behind not just a lot of ideas at True 100 Radio, but, Let's Get It.
Yeah.
Things he's doing with this girl.
Yeah.
His own music, like his brand, like he's really thinking beyond the music. And
True.
That's one of the things I really do love about him, is how creative he is.
Yeah.
And, so I met George on some rap shit, but, like, we just followed each other and talked to each other on Instagram at that point. Like, it was, I didn't know he was at Titan Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kelsey Fullerton.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally met him, it was at one of these showcases. And, put a face to the name. I was like, oh, shit, dude. Like, let's chop it up, whatever. Like, and found out we lived, like, down the street from each other.
Nice.
So now we started hanging out and talking a lot more. Smoke and shit. No, grandma, I don't smoke weed. And then we just became boys. Like, we just became, real good friends, And through him, I met Landy, met Jules, and I met you.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, I think what initiated me meeting you was I was telling George, like, yo, there's this podcast called My Mike and I.
Yeah.
That I've been listening to. Like,
oh, yeah?
I was like, bro, like, if I can meet that dude Noah, like, that'd be dope. And I was, bro, I know Noah. What? Fuck, like, come on.
So I already had him on the podcast by that time, right?
Yeah. He was like, yeah, I just did his podcast. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And, like, I was looking, I was like, yo, like, he had, like, a lot of my homies on the podcast.
Yeah,
I was like, bro, like, I think, like, he'd be a great addition to True 100 Radio. Like, he's an established podcaster. It would be good to kind of just get the name out. And then, I met you, and, you're a real cool dude. And, our relationship's kind of blossomed from there. I mean, you're a Celtics fan, but, we've gotten past these things.
It's all good, man.
Hey, both of our superstars are in Cancun right now, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
We have common ground now. But, no, man, like, I just think, the start of True 100 Radio was just so fucking cool because it was one of those things I kind of could just kept talking about it happening. But now the fact that it's happening, man, it's just so crazy because for a long time I was that person that always just talked and never acted. But I think I just had the right people around me this whole time.
Yeah.
That kind of just saw my vision and saw at times where I just felt like I couldn't do it, that they just took it upon themselves to kind of help. And I feel like I can never take full credit of, oh, I started this shit. It was the village around me.
True.
And
it's hard to do shit on your own. I mean, I know in a similar way, I always looked up to Bill Simmons and he has this thing going on with the Ringer. And in my head, I think, oh yeah, he did all this. Like, he put this all together. But, there's probably a lot of behind the scenes stuff and it's a team.
Bro,
and that's how I feel about True 100 Radio.
Exactly.
It's like,
And the more I've learned about radio, I know that it wasn't just Big Boy doing this on his own. It wasn't just Ebro doing this on his own. And I knew I for sure. And at the start of it, for sure, it was the ego, right? That, oh, I'm going to be the voice of Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
And I still probably could be the voice of Orange County. I mean, I ain't shit, but listen. I feel like a lot of people fuck with us now and, are going to start fucking with us now. And we've built that relationship within our own relationships to where it's all kind of come together to where people, I mean, last week at the fucking, at the show, man.
That was super surreal, man.
Bro, and it was one of those things where, like, I woke up the next morning and I was like, yo, was that a dream? Like, was I tripping? Like, there was no way people were just on stage giving us love and then in the crowd kind of just like, oh, y'all are True 100.
Yeah. Like, they had heard our name before. And it's one thing, like you said, George raps and he's also part of our team. It's one thing if, like, him and, like, let's say another one of our members of True 100 were, like, making music, putting our names in the songs. But it's another thing to have somebody outside like Viljami or Devereaux. Shout out to both of them who shouted us out on the performance. Viljami has that song Pioneers with YBG. You guys gotta go check that out. But it's just crazy. Like, this is all, like, outside people, too, fucking with what we got going on.
And they don't have to.
Right.
It's not like we're putting guns in niggas' heads like, yo, shout us out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a genuine, like, yo, these are our guys. And, you know, with Devereaux, like, what? We were, like, the first interview she did.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
One
on the
of the-
morning
yeah.
routine, like, one of the first.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you've had her on your show. Like,
Mhm.
so, like, it kind of just started with that. And, like, with, like, Unspoken Views, like, you know, one of the first interviews she did was on my show.
Yeah.
With Travis Chase. One of the first interviews he did was on my show.
Yeah.
And I had this whole squad in my crib. Grandma cooking in the background.
Nice, nice.
Niggas was smoking blunts in the parking lot outside. You know, like, I think it just started with that. Like, it just kind of just came from a place of, like, showing love. Like, I've always just wanted to be that person where if I see something dope going on,
Mm-hmm.
I want to just show that, you know,
100%.
love. And it's being reciprocated, man. It's just crazy, man, because I've always just kind of, at first, getting into it, I wanted to be the person who, like Soulja Boy, like, I was the first to do this shit, blah, blah. I want all the fucking accolades. And now, I really take pride in being the person behind the scenes, right? If I can be that person that, you know, help mold a person like Jacob.
Yeah.
You know, help mold, you know, that next person that wants to do this.
Yeah. Sure, even the kids that you work with, you know?
Yeah, even the kids I work with that, you know, initially that, you know, I wanted to keep it under wraps that, you know, I did podcasting because, you know, it's still
Same.
whatever. You know,
Same, bro.
it's just still kind of weird, but like a lot of my kids think it's cool because, you know, of course, they'll search your name up on Instagram. Like, oh, Mr. Jamal does have social media.
Yeah.
You know, and they find out what I do and it's like, oh, like, how come we never talked about this? I'm like, why would I just tell you guys, like, hey.
And I think it's weird to just, like, at least from my standpoint, because then it seems like kind of like you're either bragging or cocky. Like, that's one thing, too, I've had a difficult time with, like, meeting new people and, like, when to introduce my podcast. Because usually, more often than not, they find it out on themselves before they, like, I'll tell them. And they always hit me, like, with, oh, why did you tell us you do a podcast? And it's like, it's kind of hard to start a new job or started a new, like, friendship with, like, oh, yeah, like, check out my podcast. And it's like, yo, like...
Or even talking to chicks, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. And because at first you're just like, nah, that's kind of corny. From just like, oh, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, yeah. Especially too, because like there's a somewhat bad stereotype around podcasters.
You know, and you know, I never wanted to just be like, oh, I run my own radio station. Because to me, it doesn't sound cool because it's me doing it.
Yeah.
But when like someone's like, just goes to your Instagram, it's like, oh wait, you do this?
Yeah.
That's dope. And I'm just like, you really think it's dope?
Yeah.
I was like, because. I mean, yeah, it's dope, but like, I didn't think it was that dope to tell you about it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a weird profession, in the point where like maybe if I was more poppin', you know, I would be like, yeah, you know, I'm on the radio.
Yeah.
Like I run my own station.
Yeah.
No big deal. But now I'm just like, you know, I do the podcasting thing, but, you know. It's not where it is yet. Granted, it's come a lot farther at this point than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But I think because we had more heads on it and more people at the table that had the same mindset that I had and saw the bigger picture and saw the same picture that I saw, it's gone a lot farther and it's where it's at now.
Yeah.
And just it's still growing. We got a lot of things coming up at the end of this year. That, man, bro, I'm excited for.
Yeah.
You know, and that I'm glad that you guys are excited for.
And
that, you know, that we have a team that's bought in, bro. We're like the Lakers in the bubble, man. We bought in. You know? You know, and I'm grateful for it every day, man, because, you know, I just look back and was like, man, what if I didn't make the decision to really go forward with this?
Yeah.
And you know, not saying, you know, I'm being down here living the life of crime and shit, but, you know, I'd probably just be suffering at 9 to 5, man.
Yeah.
Like, just being normal.
I think that's the coolest thing, too, going back to us working with kids and them kind of finding out about our podcast. I really like that the kids still listen to my stuff and working with different groups now, too, because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm seeing them, especially now the ones in high school and now I'm coaching them. You talked about it earlier, like, your life is football. Especially, like, there's a few kids on the team where I'm just like, their life is only football. What happens with... Let's say they do play at a JUCO, but what happens when you're 18, 19 years old and football ends? Then you're kind of stuck. And, like, that's a big thing I really want to push is, like, hey, like, find something that you like really young and just like kind of run with it. And you don't even have to be like get it right away. You can quit it. You can come back to it later. Whatever. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to make money from this now, or like super go, all, what is it, like 10 toes in. You need to go all in. But the fact that like, because I struggled with that too. It's like after football, it was like, all right, well, what am I doing? Because I remember too, I went to Sacramento State with the like sole purpose. I mean, I did look at like communications and journalism. I did, but like that was like
that was an afterthought.
Yeah, that was reason 2 and 3. You know what I mean? Reason 1 was like, all right, Sacramento State, they have a football teams, D1 AA. I have a homie who I played high school with that I think like we have similar attributes and skills. You know what I mean? Like he's bigger physically, but like skill wise,
I know what I bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. I know what I can bring to the table. And shit, like within the first 2 weeks, they had the open tryouts in spring, and I didn't make the team, and I was like, well, fuck, do I go back home? Like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And it was really difficult. But I think that's something that not even just football players, but any athlete that really is in a demanding sport and really wants to be the best at a demanding sport, it can be tough sometimes post high school, post college career, because like now what? Like your life was, especially with like the NCAA, as you get into like higher colleges, you can't even work outside of it. You can't really do anything because life is practice, and I don't want to say a football on-field practice is 4 or 5 hours, but with weight room, with film, with coaches meetings, it's 4 or 5 hours a day.
Study like you're around the same people all day.
Yeah, and then you got your classes, which take up another 4 hours probably a day, and then somewhere between that you got to fit like meals, social life, sleep. So it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, like that schedule's demanding. And there was even a point, like even after football, I was like, well, I mean, baseball's my second love.
Yeah.
Let me get into baseball.
Yeah.
And that didn't end up working out because, I still had that lingering fucking shoulder injury from my senior year of high school.
Mm.
So, and that was just a higher level of baseball. Like, I stopped playing baseball for it. Like, at least in high school, like, at least I was working out towards baseball.
Yeah.
Like,
What position?
I was right field.
Okay.
And that was even the thing, too. With college football, I was playing D-line, but, like, I was still playing, offense, tight end, and shit like that. But once I got to college, it was like, no, you're just playing D-line.
Yeah.
And, college football is a grown man sport, bro. I'm 5'9", 5'10". These dudes are 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
Corn-fed.
280. Maybe even more.
Fucking stack, and I'm trying to gain weight.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Bro.
Yeah.
And I hate that it's been the polar opposite when I stopped playing fucking sports. Like, so easy to gain weight now.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
But,
I think once I took my foot, and that's kind of when the injury started to pile on, was when I took because I was going hard in the weight room in high school, like trying to stay in shape. On-field stuff, even playing basketball and incorporating like footwork from basketball and football. Like I was just all in,
Yeah.
So once I took a certain aspect out of my game in college football was, I need to gain weight so I can keep up with these dudes, so I'm not getting fucking pancaked all game.
Yeah.
I think that kind of took my focus off the other parts.
Right.
So you start to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, man, like just adjusting to that. And, going into baseball, I was like, I play right field. How shortstop sound? Excuse me? What? Yeah. Like, huh? So just adjusting to that. And it was like, like, maybe this wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I was making the adjustments, but it just wasn't what I was good at. It wasn't meant for me.
Yeah. And that's tough, too, because I feel like we had similar experiences growing up. And I feel like, at least I'm sure, I can't speak for your friends, but at least my group of friends, we all wanted to be the person who makes it out. And to make it out in the area that I grew up in Santa Ana specifically, it was like through athletics. No one ever talked about like going to school or like blah, blah, blah. Like this, and I don't like the part of Santa Ana I grew up in wasn't like super like ghetto. And if you looked at like overall like that median income compared to like a median income in Detroit, I'm sure it blows it out the water, Exactly. So I'm not saying I grew up in the slums or projects, but everyone, like they're only like all their mindset was like, we got to make it big at a sport. We got to make it big at a sport. When in reality, like the percentage of people who do make it pro in any sport, even if you wanted to play like basketball overseas or something, it's ridiculously hard. Yeah. And it's crushing, I think, to find out like to play. But when you have to stop playing, it's crushing because then it's like, well, this is my whole life. I don't know when you started playing football, but I started at 9. And it's like when I had to stop, it was like shit.
Yeah. because it was like, damn, like all that time,
Mhm.
it was like wasted essentially.
Almost, yeah, wasted, but like in a sense, it's like, well, what now? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in Buena Park, I mean, dang, from the guys I played with, five or six made it to the league.
Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen in
real,
high school.
real rare. But
You know what I
those
mean?
are dudes who just had fucking talent.
Yeah,
You know, Jalen Hawkins,
Mhm.
Nick Needham on the Dolphins,
yeah,
and you know what he contributed to that defense this year as a rookie. Like,
Yeah.
You know, my guy Josh Tupou plays for the Bengals. You know, doing his thing. He got a full ride to Colorado. Got in some trouble. Was able to come back to Colorado and ball out. You know, he is where he is. You know, I think we're all part of the same mindset, man. Like, you know, Buena Park, just like Santa Ana, wasn't terrible.
Mhm.
You know, we didn't have it perfect either. But I mean, we weren't like, you know, and you know, a lot of kids, you know, we were all, you know, single parent homes.
yeah,
You know, raised by our grandparents. You know, oldest of the siblings. You know, we had to make sure, you know, our siblings were good. Things like that. So it was always kind of just like that survive type of mentality, right?
Yeah.
You know, I gotta make sure I do this so my family's straight.
yeah,
And you know, and we all had dogs, bro. Like, a lot of dudes I played sports with were just fucking athletes, man.
yeah,
But something happened down the line to where that dream's gone.
off the field stuff, you know,
Off the field stuff, whether
Yeah.
it was an injury, you know,
Life.
getting locked up,
pregnancy,
yeah. You know, at Buena Park, you know, we was getting it, you know.
yeah,
But no, like, I mean, just like, I think a lot of our just surrounding things that happened, because, you know, we hung out with everybody. So a lot of dudes that we were playing ball with our freshman year, we weren't playing ball with our senior year.
Mhm.
But we still hung around them, and they
Yeah.
were doing their thing. So, you know, when things would happen, like at a party or something, we were around that,
yeah,
you know. And we had a coach, one of our coaches, my senior year, he was a cop. Our kickers coach was a cop.
okay.
Yeah.
That's not a kicker's coach, damn.
You know. So I remember, like, our head coach, you know, Coach White, you know, he was on our asses about, you know, just being a part of the community, being a better man. And all that shit. So I remember one time we had a party, and I guess he caught wind of it somehow. I don't know how he found out that we were having a party.
Is Coach White or the
Yeah,
kicker?
Coach White had.
Okay.
So he hit up our coach because he worked nights.
Oh, fuck.
He was like, "Hey, you know," and it was at the Polly's house too. So, you know, all our Samoan homies, they all lived in the same cul-de-sac off 8th Street. So 8th Street was a pretty prominent street in Buena Park where, like, a lot of activity happened.
Yeah, 8th Street and what?
8th Street in Kingman.
Oh, shit, I have no idea where that's
Yeah, it's over by, like, Auto Center Drive.
at. Okay.
You know, like close to high school where the 5 freeway is.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of things. Beach Boulevard is like the next street over. So
Okay.
Beach, you know, there's a lot of things that go on over there.
Yeah.
So that was also a real, like, heavily, like, at that time at least, the cops would pass through all the time. So, you know, caught wind, and, you know, this was a night where we were balling, bro. We had just won, like, a huge rivalry game, so we were out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we had older siblings, there's older people around us, so they were able to get us beer and shit.
Yeah.
You know, and we all looked older, so, like, me and Josh, we had full-grown beards at 18.
Yeah.
So we'd go and get Swishers and shit, and, you know, we'd get, you know, go get Natty Ices and Four Locos.
Natty Ices, damn, bro.
God, bro.
Penny pinching.
And,
That's real.
you know, right? And they were Tongan, so they would drink this shit called kava.
Never heard of it.
It's like a root.
Okay.
I wish I would have asked Viliami about it. Like, he'd be able to explain it better than me. But, like, it's like a root that you mix with water, and it's supposed to, like, mellow you out, bro. Right? On some chill shit. You know, that was when niggas started smoking weed and shit too. And when I tell you everybody was at this goddamn party, everybody was at. There was probably 4 parties that year, my senior year, where everybody was out at. Like, even like the Goody Two Shoes kids.
Yeah.
You know. And this was one of them. And a couple of our teammates, you know, was getting rowdy, man. And we had this gang called Eastside Buena Park.
Yeah.
That was on the other street from there.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, they rolled up trying to start some shit. And, you know, a huge fight broke out. You know, people got their ass beat.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's alcohol, there's, you know, weed. There were of course, that group of kids that did like Nas and
Oh yeah, yeah.
shrooms and
I
shit.
understood that shit.
They
Man.
were
Why are you huffing the gas?
I'll never understand it.
Neither will I. Right?
So, that crowd of kids were there too. And I just remember 4 cop cars mobbed through to the end of the cul-de-sac, bro. And me, I never got in trouble. So, I'm fucking running down the street.
Mm-hmm.
High as shit, drunk as shit. I remember having a girl with me too, but, and we all got our Buena Park football shit on.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna easily spot us and
Yeah.
know what school we go to at least.
That green is what is it? Green and gray.
Green and black.
Green and black.
Yeah, green and black. And cops came out and was like, "Yo, what's going on?" Because I guess somebody called, about a commotion, and there was a huge ass fight, and one of our teammates had some shit on him. And got put in the cop car. And word got around. Coach found out. People got kicked off the team. Things kind of just started changing for us, and that was kind of where we kind of all just realized, shit's got to change, bro. Like,
yeah,
we can't just be doing we're not trying to ruin our lives here, bro. Like, we're trying, and this is at a point where we were all just talking about college.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before that wasn't even a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we do after high school? In one point it was football's gonna get me there, but we were just talking about going to college.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends weren't able to make it to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of us were just we gotta do something to make it out.
Mm-hmm.
My boys who were fortunate enough to make it to the league, do some things, or those guys that didn't necessarily who could have made it in football, but started their own businesses or own gyms or
something,
things like that. And Travis raps, me, I'm doing my thing out here. A lot of us, some went to the army, of course, suckers, but but everybody kind of just made it out in their own way. Right. They had their families, and became family men.
Yeah,
working hard, and not getting pulled into that life. And, we all are really doing good for ourselves, man. I can't really complain and say, we all became scrubs or fuck ups, because we all made a way.
Yeah.
Out of no way, and all kind of turned ourselves around. So I'm really proud of where I came from.
Yeah.
And, where we came from, where we were as kids and growing up, just being dumb teenagers, and really knowing life could have went either way for us.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I think we all kind of just learned that early, and I think, in all honesty, not having that father figure around, kind of molded us and kind of just making the right decision, right? Because we had to take matters into our own hands, or we listened to our coaches, or people who are around us to kind of just be like, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I think just that happening in our lives, and all of us kind of just coming from that, bonded us together, and it turned out for the best.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change my upbringing for anything, man. I know a lot of people go back and just be like, hey, if you could change them, I wouldn't change shit. There would probably be one thing I would change, but it has nothing to do with my life whatsoever. It's just an experience with this girl that I wish would have just went better.
Yeah.
That's probably the one thing I would never change in my
life.
life, where I was like, I'd probably be married by now.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Because if all these trials and tribulations are meant to make you stronger, right? Whether it's the incident with the party or anything else that you learned that may be smaller,
right? I had to go through these things.
Yeah.
Even failing with the podcast at first, because I feel like if I just would have kept doing that podcast, I'd probably still be doing the podcast that way right now.
Yeah.
Better equipment, obviously, but I just would have been in that box.
Okay.
And I don't think I would have ever evolved.
Yeah.
If I never would have just failed.
Yeah.
If I never just would have saw those SoundCloud numbers, why am I doing this? Nobody's listening.
Yeah.
I would have never just been all right, so how can I get people to listen? How can I turn this into a brand? How can I turn this into something people would want to tune into? Right. So I needed to fail. Failure is the greatest blessing that can ever happen to you. By far. Because failure helps you learn. It's not a loss, it's a lesson. What the fuck did
Yeah, Nipsey's in.
Yeah,
Turn the L to a lesson.
lesson.
Yeah.
So I've always seen it that way. Because what's the first thing a coach says to you after you lose a game?
Yeah, what did we learn from this?
What did we learn from this? And I never was like, what are you talking about learn? Nigga, we lost.
Yeah.
But until you actually are passionate about something and you take a loss in it, you never want to go through that shit again.
Right.
And you just want to learn from it.
Right.
So with True 100 Radio now, that shit doesn't happen if these losses don't happen.
Right.
And I don't learn from my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned from every experience I've had, positive or negative, and just took from everything I've learned. I mean, I've taken shit from you, man. I've just learned everything from everyone around me.
Yeah, you gotta be a sponge.
Got to.
Yeah, absorb anything from everywhere.
Because there's going to be a point in time where we have to teach somebody something.
Yeah.
Right? Us working with kids, we got to teach our kids something every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's some fucking lesson plan or some fucking activity.
Even learning them, teaching them how to tie their shoe.
Man,
it happens.
I
had to do that.
I'm glad I don't have to do that. You know, I'm glad there's other staff that do that. Because I was like, yo, you're 9 years old and don't know how to tie your shoe?
Fuck out of
Come
here.
on now, dude, fuck. YouTube it.
See, I wanted to say that, but then the kid almost started
I
crying.
mean, no,
on me,
I can't say fuck.
like...
Yeah, you can't say fuck out of here. But you know, it's like, come on, bro. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
Like, grow up.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all these other things by yourself, but can't tie your shoe?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
Right.
You know, but yeah, you know, like you, because, man, I'm at this point in my life, man, where I want to give the people the opportunities I had them, but I never utilized them.
Mm-hmm.
I never really, I took those situations for granted, growing up. Where if I don't want somebody that I know, that I see being 23 and just being at a crossroads in life, you know? Because when I was at that point in my life, I just felt like, yo, like, fuck, like, what's the point? So now at 27, I'm still relatively young. You know, like, I'm still, you know.
Hell yeah. We're all young, bro.
You know? And, like, but I've just always had, like, this older mindset mentality. Like, if it all ended today, if True 100 Radio just fucking was gone, GCF was gone, what tools can I give to the next person to start their own True 100? Yeah. To have their own morning routine, to have their own My Mike and I. Like, that's where I'm at now in this. You know, like, I just want to give back. So that's kind of the point of True 100 to me, is giving back. Like, I never want to take away a person's creativity. Right. You know, like, I'm never going to be like, yo, no, fucking, your interviews are too long, bro. Nobody fucking, no. That's what makes you you. That's what makes your show unique. Yeah. That's what makes your shit cool. Yeah. You know? I would never tell George, like, Stupid Geniuses, that's dumb. Change the name of the show. Jules, you know. Maybe Angie should have another cup. I would never do that. Yeah. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Jules. I love those two. You know? But, like, no, like, you guys are creatives in your own right, and that's what makes True 100 Radio so fucking dope. Right. Everyone here is creative. Everyone's doing something different. We're not doing this. It's not the prototypical radio station. Yeah. Where the show's got to follow a certain formula. Correct. Or because I don't even know the fucking formula. When I was at Cal State Long Beach, I learned nothing about commercial radio. Yeah. Let me tell you. What was your guys' station called? We were 22 West. 22, okay. 22 West. Shout out to everybody that I learned from there, you know. But I didn't want to do the conventional thing. I always wanted to do my own thing and do it different. Yeah. So that's kind of how I approached everything. Even with GCF, I didn't want to be just a pro wrestling company. I wanted us to have storylines like WWE. Dude. Like, I wanted shit to be interesting. I wanted us to build superstars from the ground up. So, you know, guys like Chris Cadillac, who was wrestling for 10 years but was looking for a different path in his career. Totally fucking invented himself in GCF. Was champion for 2 years. Great fucking reign, you know, and he helped us out a lot with his knowledge, you know. You know, guys like Freddie Helmuth, you know, great in-ring wrestler, but nobody ever really got to see him shine until he became a singles guy. He was part of a team, you know. We put a singles title on him. I was like, yo, just fucking wrestle. Guys like Jack Cartwheel, who's going to be signed one day, for sure. But he plays D3 football at Chapman. Oh, shit, okay. Fucking, when I tell you, he literally is like Christian McCaffrey, bro. Yeah. This kid can fucking run. Yeah. but he can also wrestle.
That's crazy.
Dude's got his options wide fucking open, right?
Yeah.
And like, so it's the people like that, man, like that inspire me to really go out and do this shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have been that inspired if I didn't have a team behind me that believed it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that helped me believe in myself. I knew I had the talent to go on a mic and be captivating enough to get people to listen.
Yeah.
For 2 hours at a time, 4 days out of the week, you know. But like, did I believe myself to want to get out of bed and turn my shit on and do it?
Mm-hmm.
No. I feel like I'm my worst critic. You're probably your worst critic.
Hell yeah.
That's just the thing that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to overcome it, man. And that's something I'm still learning to this day. But like, I thrived in it because with that, I never would have got shared in the Mattress on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have met HOA Boss Man and was like, hey, let me help manage your music. Never would have met Aaron Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, never would have met you, you know, and, you know, chopping it up with you. And never would have met Jacob, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and meeting Jacob, you know, like he's always coming to me for advice, you know, how you should do things. I'm almost certain he does that with you too. And
Yeah.
like, just, you know, just talking to Jacob, just seeing like the light, his eyes light up when fucking you drop something deep, or like when I drop something deep, it's like, bro, like someone's actually taking this in from me.
Yeah. It's weird to be in the other shoes.
Bro, like I never took anyone serious enough to that point to where I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to apply this to my life.
Yeah.
Until, once again, full circle, Mr. Mercer, man. And I wish he was alive to see kind of where we're at now. Because, you know, he always believed in me, but I was like, dude, Mercer, whatever. Like, but he was right, essentially. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he saw what me and Eric can do and what, you know, Gerard can do. What Ceci can do, you know, Sam. Like, all these, he believed in us as a group that we were, whether it was together or separately, like, he just believed in us. And he felt like, yo, since we're leaving, maybe I should retire. Because that's basically how he just ended. Like, there was so much stuff that happened, you know, like on his way out, you know, with us, but like, he knew that after us, there's probably not going to be a group like us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I remember the day. I went, probably the one day I came in early. It was a deadline day for our last magazine of the year, and I came in, brought everybody donuts and shit. Mercer walks in and was like, he looked at me and goes, man, I knew this day would be, you know, a lot easier. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because, you know, he was going through some health problems too.
Oh, okay, damn.
So, and he was like, yeah. And, you know, throughout the day, he was just saying just like random shit, just like quotables and shit. And, but like throughout the day, he would just like thank us like, individually. And, you know, I remember he got to me and he was like, I thank you for the challenge.
Mm.
I was like, what does that mean? He was like, you know, I remember when you first walked in, not knowing your name, not knowing who, you know, where you came from, just thinking like, oh, he's not going to be here tomorrow.
Mm.
And then you kept coming back and just kept getting better and wanting to learn more. And, you know, everyone liked you, you know. But, you know, for a while, I just didn't believe you had it until I actually saw you work.
Damn.
And, you know, when we started the radio stuff, we also did the sports broadcasting stuff. And I was producing it and doing commentary with a 4-man team.
Oof.
And you know, you need at least 10 people
to
have a successful basketball I had 4 fucking people.
Yeah, that's tough.
Me, my guy Keenan, who we were doing the commentary, and 2 camera people. And then I was running the main board and the main camera while doing commentary. And Mercer would watch me do that shit every fucking week. And I was like, wow. And I think I showed up late one time. But that was legit because of traffic.
Yeah.
But I showed up late. I showed up while the team was it was a women's basketball game. And I showed up while they were warming up.
Mm.
And nothing was set up.
Ooh.
And I was telling everyone, like in the group chat, I was like, hey, just make sure you guys have everything set up. You know how it's set up, just set it up.
Yeah.
I'll be there soon. And nothing was set up. So I came in pissed. I was like, so I gotta set everything fucking up. The game's about to start in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding? We still gotta do a test stream, all this shit. And I'm sitting here just setting it up. And it was the perfect fucking setup we ever had.
Dang.
And like the most smooth game we ever did. I had my notes already ready because I printed them out at my house, whatever. And that was probably the smoothest fucking production we ever did. They won the game. We did the post-game interviews. Like,
Nice.
It was just a smooth fucking setup. And I remember like after it, I had calmed down finally. And Marshall was just like, if you had this fire in your eyes every day, who knows what you can do?
Yeah.
He was like, you'll be on fucking ESPN. Shit like that. I was like, dude, stop, dude.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see it get done.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what journalism needs.
Mm-hmm.
People who actually want to see stuff get done.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit stuck with me for the rest of my fucking life. Because I was never, from that point on, even at Cal State Long Beach, I was never around people that wanted to get shit done until I got to 200.
Damn. That's what's cool. Like, we really mesh because I think, like you said earlier, we're our own unique individuals. The way Jules does things and George or you and me, very differently, but we all want to, if we're going to do something, we're going to put our best foot forward. We want to see it get done. And I think that's what matters most.
And we can all come to agreement on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because not to criticize our own generation, but there are a lot of people in our generation that, like, they have good ideas or they start things, but they're not great at finishing it. Or I'm a victim of it, too. Yeah.
Oh, dude, facts.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of things I've started, too, that I haven't finished, that I'm like, I can do it.
Well, because even, you know, with the current huge event that we can't talk about really fully now, but I remember when I first presented it to you guys, and I didn't really have a plan, kind of just bagging it up. I was like, we should do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, granted, this is also at the height of COVID when this was kind of being but also just kind of like, we should do this.
Yeah.
And at first, it was like, nah. I was like, whatever. Like, they'll come around. But I remember now, when it was finally presented with a plan, what we can do, and everyone else was kind of able to put their own ideas in and kind of make it what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think it was finally kind of time that. It was finally that time where we all kind of just really came together. It was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
It's dope. And that, trust me, like, you guys keep me on my toes at all times. Because, like, I'll have the most generic fucking idea.
Yeah.
And you guys put color. And,
that's what I'm thinking, too, yeah.
Put everything on it that I just would have never thought of.
Yeah. That's what I love about our team, too. Not to get too much on a tangent on this, but, like, I feel like I have good ideas, but I don't really, like, I don't know how to put things together.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, where, like, George, Jules, they're, like, super on top of, like, all right, well, let's have a plan for this and this. And I'm just like, whoa, what?
Oh,
but then you learn, like, okay, that's how you get shit done. I'm just like, oh, fuck, all right. That's why they're, we mesh well, And
then even with Landy, when Landy jumps in, it was like, we should. I was like, yes, we should.
Yeah.
And then even with you, when we were sitting at the fucking show, and you was like, you know what this would be good for? I was like,
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
So like, it comes at random times, but like, you guys are for sure the glue that has put this together.
Yeah.
And we can only go up from here, man. I feel like the best is yet to come for this group, even you guys individually. Like, I can't wait for the day this fucking podcast blows up.
Appreciate that.
And we're in a full-on studio.
Yeah.
And, you inevitably leave us.
Nah.
And when George,
you don't know that. Come on.
And, when George is popping, and, when Jules is popping, I know, we all aren't going to be here forever.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for the day that happens.
Yeah.
And, I can say that, this was the group that started this, and it's because you shouldn't box people in, man. Like I'm not gonna hold y'all niggas captive, man. Like that's why like originally, like even with all the shows, I was like, yo, like you guys are free to do whatever you want. You're just the show on the network. You're just the show on the station.
Right.
Obviously, when things start to change with the station, that'll change a little bit, but it won't.
Right.
But yeah, man, no, this is a real like you're not gonna get a group any better. Like we're just a real cohesive group.
Yeah.
All across the board, man. Even our guy Rick that does the sports articles. From all
Vince and Chewy.
Fucking Vince and Chewy, man. Oh my god.
I fucking love their show, man.
Oh my Vince, if you're watching this, man, Chewy, I hope you're safe wherever you at, bro. Listen, I love those two, man.
Yeah.
And man, the OSP guys, dude, like
Yeah.
Maserati is a huge part of this too.
Yeah.
Maserati, literally,
The
we
vet?
talk the vet, bro. He's the vet of the group. I talked earlier, about hanging around with the people, just getting knowledge and wisdom. He's probably the one person that I've gotten so much knowledge and wisdom from throughout this whole pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I met him literally this time last year. And at this point, it's felt like we've known each other for fucking years. And he even said it the other day on his podcast, like, yeah, I don't know what it was about Jamal, but like when I first met him, like, I was ducking him and shit, like, cause he was, like, he really was. But I think it was until like, I showed up to his basketball event last year.
Okay.
And brought my Zoom mic. Was like, hey, can I just get an interview real quick?
Oh yeah, the tables. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I think he kind of just like saw it and like, he's real legit with this shit. Like, he really, like, we sat down and talked like outside of that for like a couple hours, man. And like, I just got to pick his brain and kind of just like get like his life experience and stuff like that. And like, we just really became cool. And he really believed in what I was doing with 100 Radio.
Nice.
And he liked you guys, and he really wanted to be a part and help any way he could.
Yeah.
He's like, like I just want to see this succeed. And if however, I was like, bro, like I want you a part of it. Like whether it's behind the scenes, you have a show, whatever. And you'd start off with him having a show talking with Maserati, but now it's starting to evolve into something like behind the scenes type shit.
Yeah.
And like there's very few people whose opinions and ideas and thoughts that I really take into consideration. He's one of those people. Obviously, it's you guys, the board, us, us, and like him. Like where when it comes to this, there's very few people. That, take consideration and thoughts from. But like he, for sure, when he calls, I listen, bro. When he hits me up with any, I listen, bro. And like. I'm really glad that we all became close.
Yeah.
Throughout this year.
Yeah.
Because y'all kept me going, man. Whether it was those FaceTimes through the pandemic, or when we were able to be outside in some capacity, all the way to now, man, and beyond, bro. Like y'all became my closest group of friends, man. Not even just partners or whatever, or just coworkers, like friends.
Yeah.
Like, friends.
Yeah.
To about parts of each other's lives that other people.
Maybe we shouldn't. Nah.
That other people don't, man. And like, you guys are just real dope people to talk to, real easy people to talk to.
Yeah.
We're all of the same age range, and we're all going through either the same thing or gone through the same thing. So. It's just real good to be around.
Yeah.
A group of people finally.
Hell yeah.
That, understand. And it's just real cool. It's real refreshing.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I'm definitely blessed to be in the space that I'm in.
So you said earlier we can't talk about the event. No?
The most I will say about this event is that we have a huge announcement on True 100 Radio soon.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So you might want to follow us on all of our social medias.
Yes.
And just listen to all of our shows. Like, I don't know why you don't listen to our shows, but if you're listening to my Mike and I, which you've probably listened to Morning Routine right before that, but if you don't, you should listen to Morning Routine because you'll get a lot more information about this event on Morning Routine. So this airs Monday at noon, my Mike and I, on True 100 Radio. So tune in at 10 a.m. We're all up early.
Yeah. It's summer.
We're still in a pandemic. Our sleep schedules are messed up. It's fine.
Yeah.
And more details will be coming soon. We got dope artists coming through for this. We got a dope venue. Really dope hosts for this thing.
Yeah.
When I tell you, this hosting lineup, bar none, the greatest host, maybe even more entertaining than the artist. Who knows?
Ooh.
This is going to be a very fun, very dope event. I can't wait to announce it and for it to happen. but the pieces have been put in place ever so quickly. I didn't think it would.
Yeah, this has been really. I think
it's
you want.
been-
I want to say we pitched. I mean, we had talked about this idea maybe like 6 months ago, but I want to say again.
But we
like,
actually kind of
like less than a month.
put
ago,
another
right?
fire under this idea, maybe like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, under a month.
Yeah. And, we've been updating, I mean, we can't get into the true 100 logistics.
True.
But no, so just be on the lookout by mid-July
Yeah.
for the announcement of the big True 100 event, whatever it may be. And it'll be a big one. It'll be big for the area.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Love that.
It'll be big for the area.
Love to hear that. Really appreciate you again for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, man. I know,
of course.
it's best podcast in the OC. So
Hey.
I know it took forever to get me on, but I'm glad I'm on. I'm famous now. I guess I got some credit.
Mama, I made it.
Mama, we out here.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me, man.
Of course.
I really love your show, man. I love, even though you have like a million shows on TV right now, I really love what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that.
Working hard as fuck. I don't know how you're able to balance all this. I looked at my schedule and was like, how do I do this? But you work at the Boys and Girls Club, you coach, you got 10 podcasts. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, you find time to exercise. Like, who is this man? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
I don't go out that much. Right?
I was like, how does this man do it? But he goes on road, like he just finds all this time to do these things, like road trips and shit. I was like, what? I wish I had time to spare. I barely got time to play video games, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love everything you do. I'm glad you're a part of the team.
Of course.
And I thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Man.
Before we go, I like to ask these fun questions at the end.
Oh, this is my favorite part of the show.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready for this.
If you could have any toppings on a pizza, what would they be?
Okay, so since I'm a normal person, any toppings on a pizza, so pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, onions,
Mm-hmm.
pineapple.
Okay. I like how you stuck the pineapple in at the end.
Yeah.
Because you would have got judged for it in the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See?
Some people still might judge, but I feel like it's just not
But
as
see,
much.
but all the good shit is off, so you're at the point where you can just pick off the pineapple.
True,
And
yeah.
stop fucking complaining.
I respect that.
Yeah.
All right.
But the sauce, though,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was weird when you brought it up. Alfredo sauce on pizza. It's doable.
See, that's what I'm telling you guys.
Bro.
Don't knock until you try it.
I judged the fuck out of you when I heard you say that. I was like, no.
Bro, pizza press. Put me onto that.
Yeah, pizza press.
These are like
pizza press.
white. It was like white sauce, pink sauce, or the red sauce. I'm just like, oh,
Pink
what's that?
sauce.
Yeah. So apparently their pink sauce is just Alfredo and marinara mix.
That's
But it's not. To me, it doesn't hit the same.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Alfredo sauce on pizza. It's still a part of the pot. Like y'all niggas need to open your palates up, man.
There you go. Next question: if you could talk to any 5 people, dead or alive, who would you want to speak with the most?
Damn, anybody dead or alive?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. One. Let's see. One would be. Damn, this is tough because there's so many avenues.
Yeah.
Let's go with. I'd want to talk to Mac Miller.
Mm.
One, he just seems just like an interesting dude. Like you just have like a real good conversation with him. Second, I'll talk to Malcolm X.
Mm.
Third, dead or alive, right?
Yeah.
John Cena, why not?
Mm.
John Cena, Malcolm X, Mac Miller. That's a podcast right there.
Hell yeah.
That's a fucking episode.
You couldn't see John Cena, but I mean, that's all right. Like.
4, I'll talk to Kobe.
Oh, hell yeah.
For sure, you gotta talk to Kobe. 5, this is gonna get deep. And I hope this is the part of the podcast where my mom is like, all right, I'm busy. Just catch the phone call. But I talk to my pops, man.
Mm.
Rest in peace, man. And not even on no like hateful shit. Just like, like I feel like a stigma that goes on with fathers who leave.
Mm.
Essentially just like, I mean, no one's ever ready to be a parent, but like, there's a lot of pressure that comes with being a parent.
100%, yeah.
Responsibility, all that shit. And if you're at an age where you're just not ready to handle just life in general, of course you're gonna leave.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, I'd ask him about that, but just like other things, just really understanding like his way of life and how he thinks and things like
Yeah.
that. Just to really just kind of just understand him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I feel like you can't hate someone you don't know.
True. Yeah.
I met the guy once
Mm.
and didn't really know him. He didn't really know me.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't sit here and be like, oh, fuck that guy. He left us hype. My life was just fine with him or without him.
Yeah.
So I'd for sure talk to him.
Right on.
Yeah.
There you go. If you were stranded on an island, but food and water provided, what are 3 things you'd like to bring to pass the time?
Can I bring another human?
Yeah.
Okay.
People have done that plenty of
Okay,
times.
so listen. Who'd I bring, though?
You can leave it vague.
Damn, I feel like I can't even say it because I'll get in trouble. There's someone in my DMs that I would bring.
Okay, there's one.
Fuck, I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Okay, 2 seconds. I bring my podcasting equipment, of course. Come on.
There you go.
Third thing. Oh. I'd bring my vinyl collection and my record player. I feel like I have a very eclectic vinyl collection.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm adding to it. I just ordered the Magic Jordan's first album.
Okay.
On vinyl. Yeah, I just got like a lot of albums that my grandpa gave to me on vinyl. Just so I got Machiavelli and shit like that.
Jeez.
So,
Okay.
I got a real different taste in music. So
Nice.
Yeah, I'd break that. Oh man.
So that's how you woo the ladies, huh? You're like, come over. I'll put it on the record for you.
I wish I would be that cool to pull out a record player when I have a chick in my house.
That'd be hard as fuck.
I wouldn't even know where to put it in my room, to be honest. But no, no. I mean, I get them with the playlist.
Yeah.
It's more the charm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the playlist, I feel like is like the dot that dots the I.
Yeah.
I feel like I fucked that up.
So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like the playlist is for sure what sets them over the edge.
Okay.
Because at that point they're already there.
Yeah.
So like you know what time it is.
Yeah.
But the playlist is like, oh wow, this guy has taste.
Yes.
Substance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Cool. If you could be reincarnated to any animal, what would it be?
Fucking A. Damn. This is this might be a somewhat controversial answer, but this has the explicit thing on it. So a lot of zoo animals kill white people, right? I'm not a huge fan of white people myself. So, I would have to say rhinos, man.
Ooh,
White people be fucking with these rhinos like a motherfucker, man. Like, what? Wasn't there a species of rhino that just went extinct?
I don't want to butcher it, but I believe it was like the white rhino, the white-horned rhino, like northern
So
Africa.
I would come back as the last white-horned rhino on Earth and just start piping these white people up out here in South Africa.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, bro.
Yeah. I'd be like Kung Fu Rhino, bro. Like, there'd be like
Kung
a
Fu,
straight up like movie,
Yeah.
like made.
Yeah. Damn. All right.
That was that was some dope shit.
Yeah, that would be true. You never know. 5 years, we get to some.
Get into some cinematic shit. Copyright this idea, Noah. Copyright this clip.
And then last question: if you can give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh man, there's a lot of advice I give my younger self, bro. Oh fuck, dude. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my younger self to listen, man. Younger me did not listen, bro. I was smart kid, good kid, but I was stubborn, man.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I knew everything. I felt like I knew the world. I felt like I, was on top of the world. I felt like, nobody can tell me anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell myself to really listen, not listen with your ears, listen with your mind. That's what my grandpa would tell me. And I would just really soak in information that people were trying to tell me and apply it. Listen and apply. Don't just talk about it, just be about it.
Okay.
I still gotta tell myself that shit today. So
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
dope.
Listen and apply.
Shit. Well said.
I try to.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Go ahead and promote anything you'd like to promote, whether it's a station, your own shows.
Listen, y'all, just check out True 100 Radio, man. The #1 station in Orange County, all of Orange County. Not that other station that's out there. I don't even remember the name of it.
Something about like a freeway, right?
Yeah. That's not even in Orange County. It's even in the hills, bro. True100radio.com is where you can get all of the content, so all the dope articles, that myself or Noah or Rick writes.
Yeah. I don't really write anymore though these days.
I know, but you're still on there. You still get credits.
Yeah.
You can see all of the video interviews, so my Mike and I stuff, morning routine stuff, any video content that True 100 makes, on our YouTube channel. Listen to the morning routine Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. What else? Follow GCF if you like wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to my Mike and I, man.
Hey.
Listen to Front Row Seat.
Yeah.
Sip of Crime.
Yes.
What's the other one? Double Down Sports. Just support all up and coming creatives and artists, man. Because once they blow up, don't pretend like you know us, man.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
And just stay tuned for that big announcement, man. It's coming. It's coming soon.
What about, you don't want to plug the OnlyFans account?
Oh, the True 100 OnlyFans. The True 100 OnlyFans is coming soon. We're having the calendar come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need some whipped cream.
Yeah. You're looking at Mr. January right here. That's why I got the arms out early. So.
It's a pleasure having you, man.
Thanks, my man. Pleasure being on, bro.